रामकृष्णाय ॐ नमो भगवते 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 रामकृष्णाय ॐ नमो भगवती शारदा देवी 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 ॐ नमो भगवते रामकृष्णाय 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 ॐ नमो भगवती शारदा देवी 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 ॐ नमो भगवते रामकृष्णाय ॐ नमो भगवती शारदा देवी ॐ श्री राम कृष्ण भगवान की जय। पहला समरू गणपति देवा पहला समरू गणपति देवा विघ्न दे जो मारा कापी रे रामा विघ्न दे जो मारा कापी रे रामा पहला समरू गणपति देवा पहला समरू गणपति देवा बीजे समरू शारदा माता बीजे समरू शारदा माता वाणी निर्मल आपी रे रामा वाणी निर्मल आपी रे रामा पहला समरू गणपति देवा पहला समरू गणपति देवा बीजे समरू गुरु चरण में बीजे समरू गुरु चरण में पावन की दापा रे रामा पावन की दापा रे रामा पहला समरू गणपति देवा पहला समरू गणपति देवा छोटे समरू माता पिता है छोटे समरू माता पिता है सद्बुद्धि बहु गणपति देवा पहला समरू गणपति देवा पूजित पंचम परमेश्वर ने पूजित पंचम परमेश्वर ने मानव पदवी आपीरे रामा मानव पदवी आपीरे रामा पहला समरू गणपति देवा पहला समरू गणपति देवा विघ्न दे जो मारा का पीरे रामा विघ्न दे जो मारा का पीरे रामा पहला समरू गणपति देवा पहला समरू गणपति देवा पूजित पंचम परमेश्वर ने पूजित पंचम परमेश्वर ने मानव पदवी आपीरे रामा मानव पदवी आपीरे रामा पहला समरू गणपति देवा पहला समरू गणपति देवा पहला समरू गणपति देवा पहला समरू गणपति देवा। ओम श्री राम कृष्ण भगवान की जय।
Shankara, Shiva Shankara, Shiva Shankara, Shiva Shankara, Shankara, Shiva Shankara, Shiva Shankara, Shiva Shankara, Shankara, Shiva Shankara, Shiva Shankara, Shiva Shankara. Shankara, Shiva Shankara, Shiva Shankara, Shankara, Shiva Shankara, Shiva Shankara, Shiva Shankara. Matru patana kilrinil teru padame manam pavite matru patana பெற்றலும் பிறந்தேனே பிற வாதத்தல்வி வந்தேனேன் சங்கரா சிவ சங்கரா சிவ சங்கரா சிவ சங்கரா சங்கரா சிவ சங்கரா சிவ சங்கரா சிவ சங்கரா கற்றவர் தொழுது ஏத்தும் சீர் கரையூரில் பாடி கொடுமுடி கற்றவர் தொழுது ஏத்தும் சீர் கரையூரில் பாடி கொடுமுடி நற்றவா உனை நான் மறக்கினும் சொல்லும் நான் நம சிவாயவே நற்றவா உனை நான் மறக்கினும் சொல்லும் நான் நம சிவாயவே சங்கரா சிவ சங்கரா சிவ சங்கரா சிவ சங்கரா சங்கரா சிவ சங்கரா சிவ சங்கரா சிவ சங்கரா சங்கரா சிவ சங்கரா சிவ சங்கரா சிவ சங்கரா சங்கரா சிவ சங்கரா சிவ சங்கரா சிவ சங்கரா. ஓம் திருச்சிற்றம்பலம்.
जय हे काली माता, जय हे दुर्गा माता, जय हे काली माता, जय हे दुर्गा माता। सारा जग की तो आधार भवानी, भक्तों के रखवार तुम्हारी महिमा परंपार काली माता। जय हे काली माता, जय हे दुर्गा माता, जय हे काली माता, जय हे दुर्गा माता। तुम हो महाशक्ति कल्याणी, तुम हो महाशक्ति कल्याणी, तुमसे निर्भय जग के प्राणी, तुमसे निर्भय जग के प्राणी। सारा जग की तो आधार भवानी, भक्तों के रखवार तुम्हारी महिमा परंपार काली माता। जय हे काली माता, जय हे दुर्गा माता, जय हे काली माता, जय हे दुर्गा माता। तुम पर हो गया ये दीवाना, तुम पर हो गया ये दीवाना। परमहंसा रामा कृष्णा, परमहंसा रामा कृष्णा। सारा जग की तो आधार भवानी, भक्तों के रखवार तुम्हारी महिमा परंपार काली माता। जय हे काली माता, जय हे दुर्गा माता, जय हे काली माता, जय हे दुर्गा माता, जय हे काली माता, जय हे दुर्गा माता। ओम श्री राम कृष्ण भगवान की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, श्री अम्बे अम्बे मात की जय, श्री महाकाली महालक्ष्मी महासरस्वती श्री दुर्गा मात की जय।
ॐ ऐं सर्वदेवदेवी स्वरूपाय श्रीरामकृष्णाय नमः। Aum Namo Narayanaya, dear devotees. Tomorrow, South Africans celebrate Women's Day, and in honor of the occasion, the reading this morning is titled Swami Vivekananda and Modern Women. It is culled from an article published in the Samvit in September 2017 by the Sharda Math, Kolkata, India. Swami Vivekananda, while interacting with children in America before his address at the Parliament of Religions, used to tell stories about the great people of India. During one such interaction with a boy named Austin, he narrated a story of Jhansi's Rani, Lakshmi Bai. Mrs. Louise Burke, in her book Swami Vivekananda in the West, New Discoveries, writes that whenever Swamiji spoke about the great Rani of Jhansi, tears used to roll down his cheeks. One may wonder how Swamiji, who always said that the role models of Indian women were Sita or Savitri, could be so moved when thinking about the Rani of Jhansi. What one should recognize is that Swamiji was the first person to recognize and accord the proper respect to women at a time when there was acrimonious debate on the empowerment of women. Swami Vivekananda knew that women were the makers of any society, and that the standard of any society, civilization, or nation can only be judged by looking at the status of its women. Swamiji recognized that our forefathers in India had constructed a healthy society in which women played a very constructive role. Indian women led a very active social, religious, and domestic life. As mothers, teachers, scholars, soldiers, judges, women stood shoulder to shoulder with men and built a robust society. The role of women was so dominant and prominent that Swamiji believed that it was because of women that we have our civilization, religious and spiritual values intact with us today. He further said that through service and renunciation, our women have withstood and borne the brunt of various kinds of invasions, political, social, religious, and economic throughout the millennia. The contribution of Indian women was so great and widespread that she was worshipped as veritably the representation of the Divine Mother. We may ask today, what made Indian women so great? Swamiji says, it's purity, courage, and intellect which were the hallmarks of Indian women. According to him, 3 women who represented each of these characteristics have shaped the ideal personality in the Indian psyche. They are Sita, Lakshmi Bai, and Gargi respectively. Sita we can understand because the narrative of Indian womanhood that has come down to us today is depicted as all-forgiving and an ever-sacrificing mother. The other 2 traits of courage and intellect, represented by the Rani of Jhansi and Gargi respectively, have been completely sidelined, which is a loss of epic proportions. Today, what we are left with is this one-sided view of what social thinkers and the rishis of the Vedic period had formulated, because Indian women led a life which was comprehensive and fruitful during the Vedic period, characterized by all 3 qualities: purity, courage, and intellect. Deterioration in the status of women post the Vedic period then followed. Women were no longer considered equal to men, and they lost the capacity to think and act independently. The result was the society as a whole declined. As mothers, they could not instill independence and fearlessness in their children because they themselves became superstitious and dependent, thereby reducing a robust and fearless society into a superstitious one. By the time Swami Vivekananda came on the scene, the social status of women was so low that they had lost all the rights that they had enjoyed in the Vedic period. Girls were not allowed to go to school because there was a belief that if a girl becomes literate, she would become a widow. Holy Mother was not spared this thinking. When she tried to learn to read and write on her own with the help of a book, Hriday threw the book into the Ganges. Swami Vivekananda gave back that status and right to Indian women, which the Vedic rishis had accorded them. When Swami Vivekananda went to America, he was baffled to see the independent and fearless American women working tirelessly in building the nation. He exclaimed in joy, "I see Lakshmis and Saraswatis here in America, not in India." When he studied the American society deeply, though, he realized that education was a key to all of this. When Swamiji returned to India, he emphasized that formal education, which was denied to women, should be made. Through Sister Nivedita, Swamiji made going to school a reality after hundreds of years. But it was not an easy task. People could not understand the prophetic advice of Swamiji. When Sister Nivedita called a meeting of social leaders in Kolkata to discuss the establishment of a school for girls and to encourage girls to go to school, not a single person stood up and said that he would send his daughter to the school. Sister Nivedita struggled hard to convince people otherwise. However, Holy Mother supported her cause and she soon succeeded. Today, the position of women in our society has improved remarkably. Realizing a glimpse of that dream of Swami Vivekananda, we see women occupying powerful spaces in society. Swami Vivekananda asserted that with purity, courage, and intellect, Indian women can build a great society and can be role models for an entire world. With these three qualities, modern women can be successful both in looking after her family and also the welfare of society. She can be a loving mother, a successful entrepreneur, or a popular leader. There is a view amongst professionals that women cannot look after a family and at the same time be successful in a profession. That is simply not true. Women are the pillars of the home and also of the larger home called society. Unless our homes are value-orientated and our children trained to become worthy members fit to carry out the cultural traditions of society, how can society even improve? The social and spiritual ideals of society are inculcated and nurtured at home. If they are neglected, society can never improve. So the first and foremost thing is to take care of the mother, which in turn will shape the character of her children. Swamiji said, "The ideal of women in India is the mother first and the mother last. The predominant characteristic of Indian womanhood is motherhood, which is in fact the fulfillment of womanhood. The very concept of mother is spiritual in its nature. Motherhood does not just mean being a biological mother. It is a state of mind where one has to only give without bargain. It is nothing but pure love, just giving without any expectation of receiving. Here, love is transformed into self-sacrifice and service. It will be a great gain not only to our country, but to the entire world if our women grow in this grace and dignity of being mothers of mankind." Not only has Swamiji outlined the criteria for success in any field, we have a living example of ideal womanhood in Holy Mother Sri Sarada Devi. Holy Mother was born to preach this ideal of motherhood and to demonstrate the glory of that ideal. Outwardly, her life was very simple and silent. Hence, it is difficult to understand its real significance. One has to dive deep into her life to understand it. The motherhood of God is best revealed in the touching, refreshing, ennobling incidents of her life. In the entire history of the world, she remains incomparable in the manifestation of mother power. Being mother of all, she looked upon people of all countries and of all races as her children. As she herself once said, the Master had kept her in the world to show the perfect manifestation of divine motherhood. Swamiji wrote to Swami Shivananda, one of his brother disciples from America in 1894, when he said, "Without Shakti, there is no regeneration for the world. Mother has been born to revive that wonderful Shakti in India, making her the nucleus. Once more will the Gargis and Maitreyas be born into this world." He further said, "Brother, I shall show you the worship of Goddess Durga, incarnated in flesh and blood. When I think of the Holy Mother, I forget all about the great Master. Indeed, herein lies my bigotry, for fie upon those who are not devoted to Holy Mother." Swami Vivekananda also placed huge responsibility on women as the mothers of our future civilization. He said, "The Aryan civilization has been of three types: the Roman, the Greek, and the Hindu. The Roman type is a type of organization, conquest, and steadiness, but lacked in emotional nature, appreciation of beauty, and the higher emotions. Its defect was reflected in cruelty. The Greek is essentially enthusiastic for the beautiful, but frivolous and has a tendency to become immoral. The Hindu type is essentially metaphysical and religious, but lacking in all the elements of organization and work. The Roman type now is represented by the Anglo-Saxons. The Greek type more by the French than by any other nation. And the old Hindus, well, they're still here. Each type has its advantage in this new land of promise. The new land of promise must have the Romans' organization, the power of the Greeks' wonderful love for the beautiful, and the Hindus' backbone of religion and love of God. Mix up these together and bring in a new civilization. And let me tell you, this should be done by women. I hope women of the future will fulfill the dream of Swamiji and become role models to upcoming generations. For remember, the hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. Do have a blessed Women's Day tomorrow. Aum Namo Narayanaya.
Prakritim paramam abhayam varadam nararupakharam janatapaharam sharanagata sevakatoshakarim pranamami param jananim jagatam gunahina sutan aparadhayutan kripayadhya samudhara mohagatan taranim bhavasagara parakarim pranamami param jananim jagatam vishayam kusumam parihetya sada charanam guruhamrita shanti sudham piba bringamano bhavarogaharam pranamami param jananim jagatam kripam kuru mahadevi suteshu pranateshu cha charanashrayadhanena kripamayi namostute lajjapatavite nityam Sarade Jnanadayike Papebhyo sada raksha Kripamayi namostute Ram Krishna Gata Pranam Tannama Shravana Priyam Tadbhavaranjitakaram Pranamami Murmur Pavitram Charitam Yasya Pavitram Jivanam Tata Pavitrata Swarupinye Tasyai Gurmo Namo Namaha Devim Prasannam Pranatarti Hantrim Yogindra Pujam Yugadharma Patrim Tam Sharadam Bhakti Vignana Datrim Daya Swarupam Pranamami Nityam Snehena Badnasi Manosmadiya Doshana Shesha Saguni क्षेत्रम् प्रसीदमातर्विनयेन याचे नित्यं भवस्यहवति सुतेषु प्रेमैकबिन्दु चिरदग्धचेते विषेञ्च चित्तं कुरु न सुशान्तम् जननीं शारदां देवीं रामकृष्णं जगद्गुरुं पादपद्मे तयोः श्रित्वा प्रणमामि मुहुर्मुहुः। जय श्री गुरु महाराज जी की जय। जय श्री महामाय की जय। जय श्री स्वामी जी महाराज जी की जय।
सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थसाधिके शरण्ये त्र्यम्बके गौरी नारायणे नमोस्तुते। पतित पावने मातु है बालक शरण तिहार। मंगल में वरदान दे यही विनती बारंबार। बोलो श्री अम्बे अम्बे मात की जय। जगदम्बिके जय जय जग जननी माँ।
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 क्या मनहर नाम सुहाया है।
क्या मनहर नाम सुहाया है।
माँ सब कुछ वारो चरण पर।
माँ सब कुछ वारो चरणों पर।
अब अंतर को ये बाया है। जगदम्बिके जय जय जग जननी माँ।
जगदम्बिके जय जय जग जननी माँ।
जय माँ जय माँ
जय माँ जय माँ।
है प्रेम पुंज है करुणामय है।
प्रेम पुंज है करुणामय
है आदिशक्ति जग जननी माँ। तव वरदहस्त मम इष्ट रहे। तव
वरदहस्त मम इष्ट रहे।
बालक तेरे शरण में आया है।
बालक तेरे शरण में आया है।
बालक तेरे शरण में आया है। जगदम्बिके जय जय जग जननी माँ।
जगदम्बिके जय जय जगत जननी माँ।
गुरुदेव हृदय में बैठ के माँ,
गुरुदेव हृदय में बैठ की माँ।
तुमने खिलों को खिलाता उस मंजुल वेश में आकर के, उस
मंजुल वेश में आकर के
पतितों को गले लगाया है,
पतितों को गले लगाया है,
दुखियों को गले लगाया है। जगदम्बिके जय जय जग जननी माँ।
जगदम्बिके जय जय जग जननी माँ।
जय माँ जय माँ
जय माँ जय माँ
जय माँ जय माँ जय जय माँ जय माँ जय माँ जय माँ।
जगदम्बिके जय जय जग जननी माँ।
श्री राम तो है, श्री कृष्ण तो है,
श्री राम तू ही, श्री कृष्ण तू ही,
दुर्गा काली श्री राधा तो, ब्रह्मा विष्णु शिव शंकर में,
ब्रह्मा विष्णु शिव शंकर में
तेरा ही तेज समाया है,
तेरा ही तेज समाया है,
तेरा ही तेज समाया है। जगदम्बिके जय जय जग जननी माँ।
जगदम्बिके जय जय जग जननी माँ।
जय माँ जय माँ
जय माँ जय माँ।
ये अखिल विश्व जो देख रहा, ये
अखिल विश्व जो देख रहा,
उसके कन कन में तो बैठी सावर जंगम तल चरण बचर,
स्थावर जंगम तल चरण बचर,
तेरा ही ममता माया है,
तेरा ही ममता माया है,
तेरा ही ममता माया है। जगदम्बिके जय जय जग जननी माँ।
जगदम्बिके जय जय जग जननी माँ।
जय माँ जय माँ
जय माँ जय माँ।
ओ नमस्कार ममा बार बार,
ओ नमस्कार मम बार बार है,
शक्ति तिहारी चरणों में मुझ अधम पतित अधमाए को,
मुझ अधम पतित अधमाई को,
करुणा कर गले लगाया है,
करुणा कर गले लगाया है,
करुणा कर गले लगाया है। जगदम्बिके Ma.
Jagadambike Jai Jai Jagajanani Ma.
Oh, namaskar mama bar bar.
Oh, namaskar mama bar bar.
शक्ति तुम्हारी चरणों में मुझा दम पतित अधमाए को
मुझ अधम पतित अधमाए को
करुणा कर कल लगाया है
करुणा कर गले लगाया है
करुणा कर गले लगाया है जय 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 जग जननी माँ
जगदम्बिके जय जय जगजननी माँ
जय माँ जय माँ
जय माँ जय माँ
जय माँ जय माँ जय जय माँ जय माँ जय माँ जय माँ
जगदम्बिके जय जय जगजननी माँ
माँ जो पाओ तुमसे पाओ
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 जो देवे उसमें हर्षाओ खुश रहा नहीं माँ अपनापन
कुछ रहा नहीं माँ अपनापन
मैंने सर्वस्व चढ़ाया है
मैंने सर्वस्व चढ़ाया है
मैंने सर्वस्व चढ़ाया है
जगदम्बिके जय जय जगजननी माँ जगदम्बिके जय जय जगजननी माँ जगदम्बिके जय जय जगजननी माँ
जय माँ जय 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 माँ
जय जय माँ जय जय माँ जय जय माँ जय जय माँ
जय जय माँ जय जय माँ जय जय माँ जय जय माँ
जय जय माँ जय जय माँ जय जय माँ जय जय माँ
जय जय माँ जय जय माँ जय जय माँ जय जय माँ
जय माँ जय माँ
जय माँ जय माँ
जय माँ जय माँ
जय माँ जय माँ
जय माँ
ओम श्री राम कृष्ण भगवान की जय।
Om Namo Narayanaya, dear sisters and brothers. Let us sit calmly for a few moments and contemplate on the radiant form of the Divine Mother seated in our hearts. Verse 2 of the Saptashloki Durga says, when called to mind in a difficult pass, you remove fear from every person. O Mother, when called to mind by those in happiness, you bestow a mind still further pious. Which goddess but you, O dispeller of poverty, pain, and fear, has an ever sympathetic heart for helping everyone. O Mother, please bless and protect us. Fill us with devotion and knowledge so that we can progress on our spiritual journey. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Om Sarvesham Swastirabhavatu Sarvesham Shantirabhavatu Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat.
जय श्री गुरु महाराज की जय, महामाई की जय, स्वामी जी महाराज की जय, गंगा मात की जय, महावीर स्वामी जी की जय, सर्व ऋषि मुनियों की जय। पार्वती पतये हर हर